Coach Butler, thanks very much for giving us a few minutes. We'll open it right up for questions. Anyone want to go first? All right, we'll go to Brian Christopherson for the first question.
Hey, Coach. I know obviously it's a different December with guys coming and going. What have you seen just from the D linemen you have and sort of what they've been giving you in practices?
I think the D line for us this year was our strength, obviously, not only in depth but in production. In the games that we played really well, which were a lot of them up front, I think they were the impactful portion of the defense that allowed us to play the way we played. At the end of the day, you have to be strong up front. I think to have a good defense, and I think any good back seven needs that as it relates to the responsibilities they have in the run game, but also how that front can affect the passing game. So they've practiced their butt off since we've been out there. Everybody's out there giving us reps, continuing to develop. So I'm excited with who we have, and the guys, especially the younger guys coming through. We got some good young players too.
Thanks, Brian. Next, we'll go to Sam McEwen.
Hey, John. I think you're pretty familiar with Boston College head coach Bill O'Brien. I'm just curious, what your thoughts are about facing him and that offense. And then their offensive coordinator used to be a GA for you. So I'm just curious, like what that experience is like preparing for a team in an offense you probably know pretty well.
Yeah, I think that the world has a funny way of coming full circle. Obviously, I worked for Bill for 2 years at Penn State and 4 years at Houston. Very appreciative of all my time with Bill. Had a great relationship with him while I was there. Gave me a lot of responsibility and helped me develop as a coach. So, a lot of respect for not only what he did there in Houston, but as he's continued to go throughout his career and obviously what he's doing this year at BC. As far as Will's concerned, it's always cool to go, coach against familiar folks. I think he's doing a great job with that offense. Obviously, that offense right now looks a little different than the offense that they ran in Houston. But that's just a testament to the quality of the coaches they have in terms of, using their strengths, trying to maximize your strengths and minimize your weaknesses. So, always used to have fun competing against Bill in practice, competing against the offensive coaches. Obviously, Bill's a fiery competitor. I think I am as well, and it'll be a great matchup for us to go back up against each other.
I wanted to ask a follow-up question about their quarterback. Obviously, he's just basically been their quarterback for the last 4 or 5 games. What did you see on tape of that guy and how maybe has their offense changed once they switched to him?
I think what he is he knows where to go with the football. You can see he's got a decent feel for, what they want to do in the run game and how certain fronts and certain coverages may be impactful to what they're trying to do. And, I know Bill's always trying to make sure that his quarterback's prepared to, execute the run game as well as the pass game. And, I'm sure has a good understanding of that to be his quarterback and the expectations that Bill's always had with the guys that are his trigger man. So, I think he's done a nice job of operating the offense, executing, and they've been pretty good on third down when he's been in there. He has some ability to move around with his legs, which is always a problem. Anytime you face a quarterback that can move around and extend first downs with his legs. So I think he's a nice young player that we're going to have to keep our eyes out for.
Thank you, Sam. We'll move over to Mitch Sherman.
Hey, John. What do you see with this defensive coaching staff as it's come together? Obviously, you've got a lot of pieces, or some that are officially in, and some that you're still waiting on. I know Phil Snow was announced today. How do you envision that coaching dynamic with him, and who among these new guys will be with you in the bowl game?
So, obviously that's been a pretty cool challenge, operating over the last however many days it's been without a secondary coach and without a D-line coach. And, you're only as good as your staff. Anytime I've been on a good coaching staff, it's the strength of your staff. So we're just all hands on deck right now. Everybody coaching. I'm coaching everything I can coach. Rob Dvorak's been doing a great job of helping me out. He's the linebacker coach working with the front. Ira, our defensive GA, has stepped up and helped us. And obviously, Coach Snow with his experience and, just kind of having an eyeball over everything. I think that how it's going to work and what it's going to look like when, the staff, all the staff gets officially announced is obviously it's a work in progress. I think that each day we'll figure that out. But I'm really excited about my relationship with Coach Snow. It's been great over the phone throughout the season and then on and off of late. I just think he brings a tremendous amount of experience and is able to bounce out ideas and also just have a second set of eyes from a global perspective that at the end of the day, all we're trying to do, whoever's here working with us, is try to make sure the black shirts are performing at the level of expectations and beyond. And whoever's there to help us, I'm going to take input for. I'm not one of those guys that sits there and says, well, me, I. It's us, and we. And if the person that's in the room can help us get better and help the players get better, then I'm all for it.
Next, we'll go to Kevin Suits from the CBS affiliate in Lincoln.
Hi, John. Just wanted to ask about Ty Robinson. In a time of players that opt out of bowl games, you have a 60-year leader who has potential to play at the next level. What does it say about Ty to want to participate and lead the defense in the Pinstripe Bowl?
I think it's a testament to Ty. It's a testament to really all of our seniors that are there's a lot of those guys that are going to have chances to play in the NFL, and I think it's just a testament to the character of those men, but also the commitment that they have to this program. I think that's a legit deal. Obviously, my background over the last 10 years in the NFL, I was able to make a lot of contacts with not just coaches, but with general managers, assistant general managers, guys that have. And I can't tell you how many guys that have texted me, "Hey, are your guys playing?" And once we're like, "Yeah, of course they're playing." The level of respect that those guys in that league have for the players that are continuing to battle and they want to finish this thing the right way. So, once those guys made the decision to do that, I told them, "Hey, let's make the best of it. We're going to make them. We're going to help them play as well as they can to continue to improve their stock as their opportunities in football at the next level, come." But I think that's a huge thing, and obviously something that a lot of people aren't doing.
Luke Mullen from Lincoln Star or Lincoln Journal Star. You have the next question.
Hey, John, at linebacker, Vincent Shavers and Willis McGahee, they both got pretty good amount of playing time as freshmen. Just what do you see from them this season, and what do you think of the potential they have to keep growing in this defensive system?
I think they're two young components that, like, when you're a coordinator, I actually heard, Dana talking as I walked in the door waiting, is like, you have to be personnel driven. You want to have a good system, but at the end of the day, your system has got to be one that's making your best players play well. And so, I think those are two young players as well as some others that, we have to make sure that obviously they're operating within our system, but then we have to come up with good enough ideas to really work on their strengths and the things that they do well, whether it's blitzing, covering, rushing, whatever it happens to be, whatever, each player has a certain skill set, some things they're really good at and some things they may need to develop on. So it's your job as the coach to make those areas of weakness and better, but they have certain strengths to really use them and maximize their value within your defense. So I think those are two guys that they're two good young pieces that as we keep building this thing through time, I think we're going to be using them in a way to make sure that their strengths are being used.
Thank you, Luke. Next, we'll go to Matt Satil from KTV in Omaha.
Hey, John, you're a Philly guy. You have a lot of Northeast ties. Any fond memories that stick out when you think about New York City and getting the opportunity to go back there?
Yeah, probably some of them I shouldn't really share on this Zoom. But I grew up in the East Coast, grew up in Philly. Some of my best friends are from that metropolitan New York, Boston College area. Boston, I spent 4 years in Harvard and made some great friends. So that whole corridor in the East Coast, I'll probably have 30 to 40 folks there coming to the game. And because it's Christmas time, probably, quite a few folks coming through to visit with us, while we're there in the hotel or maybe have dinner with. So pretty cool experience. That's really kind of so close to home, only really about 60 miles away from where I grew up. So it's easy to jump on the train or drive up there. It's going to be a cool little thing to do at the Christmas time, no doubt.
Next, we'll go to Robin Wassett from Husker Online.
Hey, John, Dana was talking about just the the portal and bowl practices and all the balancing that's kind of going on right now in terms of personnel, trying to gear up for this game while also preparing yourself for the offseason. How are you kind of approaching the portal and roster management and, figuring out what you need to address through the portal while also identifying guys like you mentioned, a couple of linebackers that you want to kind of build for the future?
I think that's just like, see, the best way to articulate this is that this whole transfer portal balanced with bowl game is you've got to be light on your feet, man. I mean, you got to be like you're maybe in the middle of a game planning meeting, and all of a sudden you got to jump out and you're having a 30-minute meeting with a prospect that's in on a visit, or you're jumping on a Zoom doing it, or you're watching 15 minutes of tape to make sure, hey, this guy just jumped in, he wants to visit us. So I think you got to be a fast thinker and a mover and a shaker, quite frankly. I mean, you got to be decisive, you got to be organized. You've got to really have a plan and a vision for what you're looking for, because everything happens so fast. You have a guy get in and get out, get in and get signed. It's just, and at the same time, you're also got to keep an eye on your roster constantly, because there's people reaching out. There's people reaching out to your players, whether it's through direct or it's people reaching out through a third party. And it's unfortunate in this environment. People said, hey, it's like NFL free agency. No, it's not. NFL free agency is regulated. So like you have to follow the kind of the procedure in the NFL. And at this level, so you got to be light on your feet, and you got to keep your eye on the prize, which is getting ready for the bowl game against BC in one column. And then over here is maximizing the value and the opportunities to get your roster better, within a short window of time, while also managing your own. So it's been fun, but it's been like as a learning experience for me, obviously. But like I said, it's just, I think, something that everybody's trying to figure out it's not even a day-to-day basis, sometimes hour to hour.
Any more questions for Coach Butler? Got another one from Mitch Sherman.
Hey, yeah, I've got one more for you. What do you like about adding Williams Nwaneri out of the portal? I know he's been announced by Nebraska, so it seems that he's official.
Keith, I can talk about him. Obviously, like we said earlier, having a great front is critical to playing great on defense. And anytime you can add a piece to that has the ability to affect the run game and disrupt the passing game all in the same player, I think that that's a huge thing. And, so that's what excites us about him. It's really what excites us about all the guys we're going to add up front, because at the end of the day, the more you're able to affect the game with a 4-man rush and the variety of 4-man rushes, then you can play the variety of coverages behind it. The minute you have to start adding guys to the rush or adding guys to stop the run in the pressure packages, yes, you may have the opportunity to affect the game and maybe get TFLs and sacks, but you're also compromising what's going on behind you. So, dominant D lineman, having had that, over the last 10 years, whether it's Von Millers and Greg Rousseau's or Ed Oliver's or J.J. Watts or Whitney Merciless or Jadeveon Clowney, like when you're able to add disruptive pieces to your front, I think you're helping yourself out in the long run. And I think we're always going to be looking, really looking for elite level production in our defensive line.
Thank you, Mitch. We will go back to Brian Christopherson for another question.
Hey, John, what do you make of this Boston College offense? It seemed like they had a little juice with their new quarterback there the last month of the season. What are the challenges they present?
Yeah, I think they're balanced. I think that obviously the run game and the creativity of the run game is a strength for them. It's just a testament to, OB and Will, and obviously their offensive coaches and how creative they are in terms of, trying to attack you in the run game and the different things that they can present. They're just not lining up and blocking you, so to speak. And they're giving you a lot of eye candy, a lot of formations, a lot of motions, a lot of stuff that forces you as a coaching staff to prepare for. And then with that, they have a really, really dangerous play action game. Like any great NFL coach, it's, you're designed to run the football and then develop a play action game off of it. And you can see they clearly have that. as part of their DNA and their philosophy. So it's going to be a huge challenge for us. One that we're going to have to play, really well collectively as a defense in order to answer the bell. But they've been putting up points and putting up yards, in recent ball games against good defenses and good competition. So we're going to have our hands full.
Any final questions for Coach Butler? All right, looks like we're good. John, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good day.